Hello everybody, welcome to another class. In this class we'll be talking about music intervals. Okay, so what is an interval? Interval is nothing but a difference in pitch between two notes. Okay, so if you we go back to our keyboard, right? Two black keys, three black keys. Okay, and then repeat. Okay, so this is the C note, right? So the concept of intervals is very important, not only in theory but also when you want to get the feel of the sound of the music, because the intervals actually gives you an idea about how the song feels, whether it is happy or sad or whatever, right? So if you remember, in one of our classes we were talking about chord inversions, right? And there I wrote something like 1 3 5 1 3 6 1 4 6 to indicate when the chord gets inverted, right? So these are nothing but denoting the intervals. Okay, so simply put, how do you calculate an interval? Imagine you start with a note C. Okay, so if you want to calculate the interval between C and E, right? Okay, so in the same way, if you are calculating it on the staff, okay, this is the treble F, right? So this is the C note and this is the E note. Okay, so the interval between C and E is 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3. So the interval between C and E is the third interval. Okay, right? Same way, C to G will be C, D, E, F and G. It will be fifth. Right? So if you take a C major scale, C to D will be a second interval. Okay. C to E will be third, C to F will be fourth, then fifth, sixth, seventh, and you come back to the C note, so it is called as an octave. Okay. So this is how intervals are calculated. So if you remember the chord when you wrote it as 1 5, right? So if it is the first chord of the C major scale, which is C major, if you write it as 1 3 5, that means to say it is 1 2 3 4 5, right? So that is 1 3 5. So this is the root position. Okay. Similarly, when you wrote it as 1 3 6, right? So the first chord is written in the first inversion state. So it is, we start from E, 1 2 3, okay, 4 5 6. So it is 1 3 and 6. So that means the C major chord is played in the first inversion. That is because of the intervals between the notes. Same way, if you go to 1 4 6, correct? So why is it 1 4 6? Again the same thing. If I extend this keyboard this side, okay, try to make it easy. Okay. So you start from the G note. So 1 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it is 1 4 6. Okay. So that is how the intervals are important for us to understand. Okay. All right. Next, we need to know what are the different types of intervals. Okay. So intervals can be just like chords. It can be major, capital M, minor, small m, augmented, okay, plus, diminished, minus, and something called as perfect interval. This is a capital P. Okay, we know major, minor, augmented, diminished. We are familiar with these words. What is the meaning of a perfect interval? A perfect interval is an interval which, when you invert it, it stays the same. Okay. Example: you take the interval between C and F. Okay, so C, D, E, F. So it's a fourth interval, right? Right. The same way you invert it. You make it as F to C. Right? F, G, A, B, C. Right. It is fifth. Right. Both these intervals are perfect. Even though the interval number changes, the interval continues to remain as perfect. Okay, that is why it's called as a perfect interval. Alright. So now what are the different types of intervals? If you just take by the measure of just semitones, okay. What is semitone now? Semitone is distance between two edges in notes. Okay. So the order of intervals will be in this way. Okay, it is a simple table. You take semitone distance. Okay, so if there are no semitone distance, meaning it's the single note. So C to C. Okay, the interval is called as unison. Okay. If there is one semitone distance, that means the distance between C and D flat. Okay, C and D flat. This is called as the minor second. Okay. If there are two semitones distance, okay, that is C to D. That is called as a major second. Okay. If there are three semitones distance, 1, 2, 3, right? Like C and E flat, it becomes minor third. Okay. You go to 4 semitones, it becomes major third. Okay. You go to 5 semitones, it becomes perfect fourth. Okay. I'll skip 6 for the moment. Go to 7 semitones, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? It's perfect fifth. Okay. Same way, you go to 8 semitones, it will be minor sixth. 9 semitones, major sixth. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 semitones will be minor 7th, and 11 semitones will be major 7th, and 12 semitones will be a octave. Okay, so this is the theory behind the intervals. Now, why is it important to us? Now, the most important intervals are the perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and the third intervals. Okay? The other intervals are also equally important. So why do you think this is an important interval? So now, if you take this as theory and when you hear it practically, right? Now I play. This is a third interval. So it is C, D, E, right? Third interval, right? Now, if you hear this is between C and E. Okay? It's a happy sound, right? So that is a major third interval. Now the same thing, I drop it down by 1 semitone. So what I am playing right now, I know you can't see the keyboard, but if you can hear it, right? C and E flat. This is a little sad, isn't it? It's a minor third interval. Okay? Same way, this is a perfect fourth interval. This kind of resolves and ends, right? So this is the perfect fifth interval. What is perfect fifth? The first note and the fifth note over it is called as the perfect fifth. Okay? So if you hear the sound, right? This is very important in ear training because this is how you slowly start understanding and listening to the sounds. Okay, so when you hear Good job. So there are mosquitoes in the room. So now it is C and E, right? This is a happy sound. Okay. Same way, sad sound, right? Right. So this is very important for you. So what I want you to do is, when you are playing your keyboard or any other instrument, calculate the semitone distances, and just for this class, listen to the sound of the minor third and the major third. This can be between any two notes. Like if I take, this is D and F sharp. Okay. Okay, this is a happy sound, right? If you compare it to, this is a sad sound, right? So it is there is a difference between a major third and a minor third. Okay. This is a rough chart. Your internet is the most useful tool for us. It can be used, it can be misused, it can be abused, right? But if you use it wisely, you can get a lot of information, and you can get charts on this, or you can just write down what I have written down. That itself becomes a table. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any clarifications, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, leave a comment below, and I'll happy to answer, or I can make another video on it. Okay. Take care and stay safe. Bye.